One of my favorite topics to talk to families about when it comes to parenting as a general pediatrician for over 20 years and a parent of two is boundaries. And boundaries are so important. And I know it's a buzzword and there are people who can take this and make it a whole thing that's not appropriate. But I wanted to give you some examples of how to keep boundaries with your kids, which is going to make them so much more emotionally resilient and make you happier as a parent. So I'm going to give you a few examples of how this can actually work. First of all, I like to say boundaries are really just holding on to something that you have decided, regardless of how your child feels about it. And so it's really more about teaching them that you can sit with their negative feelings and that they don't have to like it, but you can support them through it. So it's a little different than do as I say, not as I do, or I'll give you something to cry about, or I'm the parent and you're the child. It's a little bit different than that. So I'll give you two examples. The first one is you have a preschooler, and this is an example I just had the other day in clinic. And you have taken your child to preschool. It's a decision that you've made that you feel is in their best interest, and they're struggling. And they're every day saying, I don't want to go, and they're crying, and they're really struggling. Now, this is different than a child who's not doing well, right? This is a kid that gets to preschool, does well, is doing good, is thriving in every other area, but they are uncomfortable and they don't want to go. And you have decided as a parent, as part of a team or a family, that this is what's most important for them and that you want them to be able to go. Maybe you need them to go because of work. You don't want to pull them out when they are struggling if you can help it. And the reason why is because you want to let them know that you are there to support them through it being hard, not fix it for them when it's hard. So you want to acknowledge it and say, I'm so sorry that you are sad. I understand. I am sometimes sad when I'm away from you too, and this is what I do. Or why don't we do something special when I pick you up today? Or I have this special stuffed animal and I'm going to sleep with it every night and then I'm going to give it to you so you feel connected with me during the day. You send them little notes if they're older. You want to let them know that they are resilient and that they can handle it. Because if we remove children from situations that are hard for them, we still have to put them back in hard situations, but we taught them that they need to run when something is hard, and that if we feel guilty, we are going to change our mind about something even if we think it's important to them. And I know that's not what they're thinking, but that's what we're showing them. Another example of boundaries like this with your kids is, say they're a little bit older and you've made the decision through your own research and thoughts and planning and talking to people that you are not going to do sleepovers, that that's not something that you think is safe and appropriate in your family, and you've made this as a rule with your kids. You make this from a conscious decision, and it's the last day of school and everyone's getting to spend the night at a friend's house and your child is the only one that can't go. And they're crying and they're saying, but I'm the only one that can't go. And your instinct is that this isn't safe. And you're starting to think, but I don't want them to feel left out. And they're crying and they're sad. And I don't want to make the last day of school miserable, right? Normal thoughts. All of us would feel this way. I'm using this example because I've been there. And so you start to second guess yourself and say, I'm going to give in. I'm going to let them go, even against my better judgment because of how upset they are. Think about it from this perspective. One day, they're going to be in a relationship with someone, and there's going to be something that is a boundary for them, something they are uncomfortable with, that they don't think is right, and their gut is telling them that it is wrong for them. And the person they're in a relationship with is like, but if you loved me, you would do this. I'm so sad. I'm upset. I'm crying. Now imagine your child thinking that that's love, thinking that they need to give in to something that they know is wrong because that person is upset. It totally changes your perspective, doesn't it? So everything we're doing with our kids is teaching them how they are going to be in relationships and how they should allow people to treat them. It also teaches them what they're capable of. So we need to get comfortable with keeping boundaries with our kids. It doesn't mean later we can't decide to change. You can change your mind with more evidence, but in the moment, I want you to remember, why are you changing your mind? Is it just because they're upset and you don't want them to be upset? Or do you truly change your mind because there's evidence behind it? So I encourage you to really think about these boundaries with your kids. We really want to raise emotionally intelligent but resilient kids. That's the part that's been missing. We started listening to our kids' emotions. We started validating them, which is wonderful, but we didn't hold them accountable for them. We took accountability for our kids' emotions. And that's part of the reason our kids are struggling. So I could talk about this all day. I'll stop now. But if you have any specific questions or want me to do some follow-ups on this, I'm happy to do it. Take care.